few months later, I had my 6th birthday. And afterwards, my parents packed up everything that they could, and we left home for almost 4 years. We traveled all over Europe. We went to different towns and cities, different countries: Austria, Germany, Switzerland, Holland, the Netherlands, Belgium, France. We even went as far as London, England. I gave concerts for King George III. He was the same king that fought against American independence in 1776. In fact, while I was there, I studied with Bach's youngest son, who lived in England at the time, Johann Christian Bach. He taught me a lot about music. And I studied and I worked. I wanted to be the best musician that I could. Papa would have me and Nana give concerts in the palaces of the aristocracy. Mama would dress us up in beautiful, fancy clothing, and he'd teach us tricks to impress the people. He would have me sit down at the piano and play, but right before I could start to play, he'd have some people in the audience come up and blindfold me. Or they'd take a book, cover up my hands, block my view. And when I couldn't see what I was doing, when I was practically in the dark, I was sitting and playing, and I never hit a wrong note. Papa would turn me around from the piano, so my back was to the keyboard. He'd have people come out of the audience and hit notes. They hit whatever notes they wanted to, and I couldn't see it, but I could tell what notes they hit. See, some people are born with perfect eyesight. I happen to be born with perfect pitch. I could hear those sounds in my head. So they'd hit a note, and I'd say, that's D. They'd hit another note, I'd say, that's F. They'd hit 2 notes at the same time. I'd say, that's G and C. They'd hit 5 notes at the same time, 10 notes, it didn't matter. I heard it perfectly in my head. I was born that way. Papa taught me how to improvise. When you improvise, you make something up just like that. They tell me that nowadays your jazz musicians do that. You get a melody, you sit down, you think about it, you just start playing. Papa showed me how to do that. It sounds difficult, but remember, I was reading and writing music before I could read and write words. Papa would have some people come up to the piano and they'd hit whatever notes they wanted to. I was supposed to take those notes and make music out of it. So I would listen. Okay, that makes the F major sound. Each key in music has its own structure, its own key signature, we call it, made up of a collection of certain sharps or flats or naturals that give it that sound. The key of F major has 1 flat, B flat. By knowing that, and by knowing which other keys fit in with F, I had all these ideas in my head. All I had to do is sort them out, and before I knew it, my fingers were flying across the keyboard, and I was improvising. I was making up music, just like that. I took those notes and I played this. Papa taught me how to take other people's music, change it around, make it more interesting. Music that was popular in my day. Most of those pieces were nursery rhymes that I'd hear children in other cities, other countries singing, sometimes in different languages. I would take those melodies that I heard and I would change them around. Those changes are called variations. Everywhere we went, I heard kids in the streets singing songs that were popular in that day. Once I had some time on my hands, I took one melody that I used to love to hear. I don't even remember who wrote it, what they called it. And I changed it around. I wrote 12 variations on this simple little children's theme. It's a nice little tune. It went something like this. Then I change it around this way. I would take that tune and I would transpose a variation. Transpose, when you take it from one key, C major, and put it into a different key, C minor. I would take that melody and I'd change it around different ways. If I was playing in front of kings and queens, I wanted to really impress them so that they'd give us money and things. So I would play it maybe this way. Kings and queens would let me sit on their thrones and let me wear their crowns on my head. It was great. Everywhere we went, they fussed and they fought over me. I was the wonder child, the wunderkind, the boy genius. But I think the best part was when my family and I would be taking walks in whatever city we were in. And I'd hear the people from the palaces, the aristocrats, arguing and screaming. He's coming to my palace for a concert. No, that Mozart's coming to my palace. No, he's coming to my palace. To think adults were arguing and screaming and fighting over me, a 6-year-old child. It was a great feeling. So we traveled all over Europe for 4 years, back and forth, giving concerts. I think I was more famous than most of the kings and queens throughout Europe.